What's good, y'all? What's happening? I came on here because I felt really urged to come and tell the people, y'all need to start prepping. Start prepping extra food and stuff, y'all. This is not a drill. We need to sound the alarm. I'm telling y'all. I did a video like a few years back where I told y'all where the Holy Spirit came to me and he told me, he said, a famine is coming. You need to start preparing. He said, get your grains and start preparing. Start prepping, people. Start prepping. So when you go to the grocery store, don't just buy a meal for today or for the week. Start buying extra rice. Not like minute rice. No, not that. Get the bags of rice. It's time to hit reset. Pay attention to what's going on in the world and hit reset. Okay? God is hitting reset because the world has went too far. This is not the first time that God has had to hit reset. That when his creation, which is human beings, go too far, God has to always reroute us to come back to him because the world has went too far. Too far with everything. Too far with the whole transgender sex stuff and too far with it's just too far. The government is going too far. And it's just, the world is messed up. Okay? Not just our country, the world is messed up. Everybody is feeling it. So God is hitting reset and he is directing us back to him. And the church needs to be prepared and be ready because this is the time for the church to stand up and be prepared and be ready to welcome God's people back unto the sheepfold. Okay? It's not time for the church to get caught up and want to be celebrities and want to be a celebrity church. None of that. It's time to understand the true word of God that's being preached across the pulpit. I'm telling y'all, we need to start prepping. When y'all go to the store, start buying extra food. This is not a drill. If anybody is sitting around thinking the world is going to get better, it's not going to get better. Things are not going to get better. Start buying extra rice, extra beans, start buying extra water. When you go to Walmart and you see those 5-gallon waters, in the front by the register, start buying one of those. Start saving one of those because human beings can only survive 3 to 7 days without water before you will starve and your body starts to shut down. You need water to do everything. Start prepping, people. I'm telling y'all, I sound like a broken record, I know. But this is not a drill. I know y'all see what's going on in the world. The government is terrible. The administration is terrible. And billionaires and millionaires are just doing whatever they want to do on the backs of us taxpayers. And this is not a scare tactic. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm not trying to do any of those things. But what I am telling y'all is that if y'all don't start saving y'all some extra food, you don't want to be the person in a grocery store fighting over that last bag of rice. I'm telling you, you don't want to be the person in the store trying to run when it's too late. It's too late. Farmers are speaking out. Okay? And they're saying, the field ain't right. They ain't being paid. It's a lot going on. Keep y'all ear to the street of what's going on in the world. Stuff is just going to keep getting higher. Gas is going to get higher. Food is going to get higher. And eventually, when stuff gets higher, that means that the supply is low. When the supply for something is low, the demand for it gets higher, meaning the price gets higher. Okay? So we need to start prepping. Start prepping stuff that has long shelf life. If you have to get you a Costco membership, a Sam's Club membership, go get you a membership and start buying stuff in bulk. Start buying canned goods in bulk. Start buying rice in bulk. 10, 20 pound bags of rice. Start buying 10, 20 pound bags of beans. Start buying, 5-gallon things of water. Start buying extra food, because the way the world is going, you need to be prepared. I'd rather overly prepare and nothing happens than don't prepare at all and something happens. I'm telling you, okay? So if you don't know what to do, get on YouTube and look up prepping videos. Look up stuff that has long shelf life. Look up stuff that lasts 10, 20 years, okay? Rice lasts a very long time if stored properly. If you have a basement, and you're not using your basement, basements are really good to store food in, because basements are typically dark a high percentage of the time, and they're dark and they're cool. So people are buying racks and putting them in their basement, and they are storing their canned goods on the racks in their basements. Okay, they are storing their rice. Okay, go to Home Depot and buy you an empty 5-gallon jug, an empty 5-gallon jug, and people are storing their rice in those jugs because they are trying to preserve their rice and their beans and stuff for longevity. Rice and beans can last 10 to 20 years, okay, people? And so again, this is not a scare tactic. It really is not. But this is not the first time, famine has hit, and this is not the first time that the world has gotten the way that it is. And if, you believe in Christ, and if you believe in Jesus, we know that God always prepare us. I know people say trust in God and he's going to take care of us. This is trusting in God. God always give instructions. He give instruction on what to do to avoid what's going to come, to avoid the casualty. That's what God does. If you read the Bible, God told Joseph, the Pharaoh had a dream. Joseph interpreted the dream. He said it's going to be 7 years of plenty, 7 years without. So when they had the 7 years of plenty, Joseph was putting food to the side for 7 whole years. You got to understand. He was putting food aside for 7 years. So you got to think that if he's putting food aside for 7 years, people thinking like, well, if ain't not happening in 7 years, ain't nothing going to happen. No. Until it happened. I'm pretty sure that God, had told other people in the land that, hey, you need to start putting food aside, and people, they didn't know what to do until famine hit and people were starving. If we read the Bible, we got to understand famine happened in the Old Testament and famine happened in the New Testament as well. So God always give instructions. So we only get the benefit if we follow the instruction. So if you don't follow the instruction, when God told Joseph, when God gave Pharaoh the dream and Joseph interpreted that dream, and if they would not have listened, they would have starved too. And so word got to spreading around, hey, we heard this food over there. And you got to understand, Joseph now, they had food in the palace. But when they left the palace, the people on the outside, they were starving. It was famine in the land outside. But as for you and your house, if you follow the instruction God is giving you to say, start prepping, start saving some food, y'all. Again, this is not a scare tactic. So when God say, hey, I need you to start saving some food, God is giving instruction on what to do so you can avoid when something happens. Because the stuff is already happening in the world right now. People are being priced out of their apartments because stuff is getting higher. Especially if you have elders in your family, you need to be prepping to make sure that your elders are taken care of, because elders can't fend for themselves. If you don't know CPR, go learn CPR, because it's time out for saying, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Learn how to do it. If you don't know how to sew, just learn how to do basic sewing with needle and thread. So when you go to the store, start buying you some extra socks, extra scarves, extra hats, extra jackets, extra blankets, get you some extra flashlights, get you flashlights that's battery operated, get you some solar panel lights, get you stuff that if stuff happens, and as for you and your family, y'all will be okay. Y'all will be all right. Okay? Start paying attention to what's going on in the world. This administration is not going to save us. If anything, this administration has given us their behind to kiss. Okay? As we all seen, COVID hit everybody at the same time. And people were in the grocery store fighting over food. People died over a Popeye chicken sandwich. Always remember that, people. So do you want to be the person in the store when tragedy hits? Or do you want to be like Joseph in the palace and say, we straight? We straight. We got an abundance of water. We got an abundance of rice. We got an abundance of beans. Y'all need to start changing y'all diets. So it's time out for saying, oh, well, I don't like beans. I don't like rice. Well, start incorporating those things into your diet. Start training your body to eat rice more, to eat beans. Go to Sam's Club and start buying seasonings in bulk. Okay? And start putting that stuff aside. And just, and then also, you never know. What if it comes a time where, you need to be in good health? You don't know what's going to happen in the world, okay? What if you need to leave your house and go somewhere else, but you're such in bad health, your knees bad, your ankles bad, your wrist bad, you can't run. So if it comes time for you to run, you're going to get got. So it's like, yeah, how about it's really time for us to go outside and touch grass? Go outside, walk around the block, start training your body to, do long endurance. Because good health matters. Good health matters as well. So people, listen, again, this is not a scare tactic, but we need to understand. We read these stories in the Bibles as believers and we say, oh, God is going to take care of us. God is going to do it. I need y'all to understand. God ain't never rained no food out the sky. Never. I know people going to say we did it for the Israelites when he rained, when he dropped manna from heaven. Yeah. But if you go back and read the story, manna, they were saying, what is that? That's what manna means. Manna means, what is that? They were asking, what is this? And if you go back and read it, the manna was a frost-like substance. It was frosty, meaning they had to grind it out in order to get the food that was in the inside of it. And they still had to properly prep and prepare the manna. You get what I'm saying? But again, those were different circumstances. But again, that's the example of a manna came from heaven. Yes, but like I just explained. Okay? So again, if you read the Bible, God always gave instructions on how to prepare. If you think about it real quick, right? When the plagues was hitting and God gave instructions, he said, put the blood over your door. He told the Israelites, put the blood over your door and death will pass you by. God gave an instruction. He said, if you put the blood over your door, death will pass you by. If one of them Israelites had not put that blood over their door, they would have got the same results as the Egyptians. Because God said, you only get the benefit if you follow the instruction. You don't get the benefit if you don't follow the instruction. So when God give instructions and he say, hey, I have given you provision to have a job. You have a job, you make money from that job. Take money from that job, take a little bit of money, $10, $20, $50 from your check, and God said just buy a little extra and put it to the side. Take $50 from the check, from your job that God has given you. You see how this works? So God is saying, yes, you do. I did make provision for you to have the things. You have to follow the instruction. You only get the benefit if you follow the instruction. If you don't follow the instruction, you don't get the benefit. You can't say, oh God, you said you were going to protect and provide for me. God said, I did. I will protect and provide for you, but you did not follow the instructions. Okay. We all remember the story. It's in the Bible, right? When God had told, when he told them, go get some oil. And the women some women waited to the last minute to get oil. They tried to borrow oil from the women who prepared. And the women who prepared said, I ain't got nothing for you. Because when the instruction came, they did not follow the instruction. And so you don't want to be that person when it's too late, when there's no more rice on the shelf, when there's no more beans on the shelf. and there's no more water. Because you got to understand, if the grid goes down, when I say grid, I mean the power grid. And stop relying so much on these banks. Go to the bank and get you some money out. Keep you some cash at home. Because if the power grid goes down, nothing works. Your cell phone don't work. ATM don't work. The bank, they can't give you no money because nothing works. Everything runs off power, electricity. Electricity, people. If electricity goes down, all your money is in the bank. How you gonna get it? How you gonna get it? And now you saying, I can't buy nothing. Yeah, because you were too dependent on the system. It's time for us to learn how to get places without GPS. It's time for us to hit reset. Okay? Order you a map offline. Order you a map. Whatever state you live in, order you a map. Order you a world map so you would know how to get different places. Learn how to read a compass. If you get lost right now in the woods and you have a compass on you, and if you don't know how to read that compass, what good is it if you don't know how to read the compass? I'm just saying, learn how to read a compass. And then it's especially for women, we need to learn how to protect ourselves. Protect yourselves. Go take self-defense classes. Go learn how to shoot a firearm. Okay? Learn, get over the fear. Oh, I'm afraid of firearms. Get over that fear. Okay? Because of Nehemiah. That's why I'm telling y'all. I know we read these stories in the Bible, but we read them as if like they're fiction stories. These are real stories. They were real people. And Nehemiah, God said, watch as well as pray. They were building with one hand and they had a weapon in another hand. Just in case anything popped off, they was able to get it cracking real quick. Because God said, listen, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to rebuild y'all city. But God said, but yeah, don't be naive. Watch as well as pray. Build with one hand and keep a weapon in another hand. So when it come down to it, you can drop this and you can get it cracking with this. But if we just sitting back saying, oh, God is going to protect us, he will protect us. He's protecting us by telling us, go learn how to defend yourself. Take self-defense classes. Go learn how to get a firearm. Get licensed to carry. Okay? Learn how to do these things. Have an evacuation plan. Okay? Right now, do you know where all your important documents are? Do you know where they are? If something happens right now, can you grab all your important documents and get out the house like this? If the answer is no, that means you are not prepared. You need to go home. You need to have all your important documents in one place. All your kids' birth certificates, all you and your kids' social security cards, passports, ID. You need to have all that one place. If something happens, you can grab that bag. Come on, kids, we gotta go. What is your evacuation plan? Are you talking to your family about, hey, if something happened, can we come bug out at your house? Do you have a bug out bag? A bag you could just grab and go. A bag that, can last you and your kids at least 3-4 days. If y'all got to leave the house quickly. Come on now. If the answer is no, that means you are not prepared. That means we are not prepared. It's time out for saying, well, I don't have a basement. I live in an apartment. Get creative. If you have a closet, okay, start cleaning your closet out. Start storing food in your closet. Our closets are dark a higher percentage of the time. If food is stored in a dark place, it'll last longer. Start putting food in your closet. If you have a spare bedroom, okay, start putting food in the spare bedroom. Just do something. Any stuff that has long shelf life. Flour has sugar has long shelf life. Honey has long shelf life. Canned goods have long shelf life. Rice has long shelf life. Beans, water for sure. Okay. And, what else has long shelf life? It's a lot of stuff that has peanut butter has long shelf life. You need to be able to put some food on your bones if something was to happen. Peanut butter. You can eat peanut butter by itself. Peanut butter is thick enough. That'll fill you up. Between peanut butter and water, let me tell you something. You batting 1,000. Okay? You put a little rice and beans. That's a meal by itself. You can make bean soup. You can make rice and bean soup. You see what I'm saying? It's so many ways, you know what I'm saying, we can get creative with this stuff. But again, you can't say, oh, I don't like rice and beans. Train yourself to like rice and beans. Train yourself. Start eating rice and beans at least once a week. Do something. Because when it comes down to it, when you starving, your body not going to say, I don't like beans. Baby, let me tell you something. If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat them pinto beans. I probably ain't never ate pinto beans a day in my life. But if I'm starving, I'm going to eat them beans and that rice. And my belly is going to be grateful for them rice and them beans. Come on, y'all. So it's time out for thinking that, you know, God is just going to rain food out of heaven. It's time out for thinking that he's just going to, you know, water just going to show up in your apartment. It ain't going to show up. You have to go get it. Go get it. Go to the grocery store and get it before it's too late. You got to remember, God gave Joseph 7 years. He said it's going to be 7 years of plenty, 7 years without. He gave him a 7-year head start. 7-year head start. You see what I'm saying? Everybody laughed at Noah until they realized they couldn't swim. You see what I'm saying? Now they realize, oh, I can't swim. Baby, that door closed. You see what I'm saying? God gave you that head start. You may want to learn how to swim. You may want to learn how to swim. Yeah, and when that boat closed, now they saying, I don't know how to swim. It's too late. It's too late. So when God gives us a head start, God, he sees what's down the line. We don't. That's what makes him God. Because he see what comes down the line. He see what's coming. We don't see what's coming. That's why he give us warning. When Pharaoh had that dream, that was a warning to say, hey, God seen down the line there's going to be a famine. He seen that. So he said, hey, Joseph, interpret the dream. And Joseph told Pharaoh it's going to be 7 years plenty, 7 years without. They had a 7-year head start. So imagine if God is giving you a 7-year head start, how much stock do you think you can have prepared in 7 years to the point you and your family will never starve? Okay? Because you got to think about, okay, your elders, they will never starve. As for me and my house, we going to serve the Lord and not starve. Okay? So start stocking up. Do what you got to do. Take self-defense classes. Learn how to defend yourself. Learn how to sew. Okay? Learn how to, if you can take a surviving in the wild class somewhere in your city, do that. Okay? Because you need to learn, you know, can I survive outside? Can you? If the answer is no, okay, go do what you got to do. Just start to prepare yourself because you never know if God is placing you to be the leader of your family. You may have to be the one to take the lead to say, you know what, y'all, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I know how to start a fire. I know how to survive in the wild. Okay, I know how to pitch a tent. Do you know how to pitch a tent? Huh? Do you know how to survive in below in like freezing temperatures? Do you know how to stay cool without air conditioning outside? Do you know how to stay cool when the temperatures are super hot? Do you know how to stay cool outside? See, we done got so spoiled, you know, we don't go nowhere. If it ain't no air conditioning, I ain't going. See, we done got too spoiled. We done got used to fans, air conditioning. But the thing is, can you survive without those things? Do you know how to keep your body cool without those things? Do you? See, we done got used to just, we could just come in the house, cut the heat on. See, we done got too spoiled. But God would say, what if you ain't got no heat? What if you ain't got no heat? And then you know if you're in the inside of your house and there's no heat, you still got to find ways to stay warm. Do you know how to stay warm? Do you know how to use the bathroom without a toilet? I mean, these are real truths. Do you know how to grow vegetables? Where there's a will, there's a way. Some people say, well, I don't have a backyard. You ain't got to have no backyard. People are growing food on their patio in their apartment. Where there's a will, there's a way. God is giving us more than one way to learn how to do a thing. Come on now. I just want us to just wake up and just be prepared. Stuff is not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And it's not a scare tactic. But if God is giving you a head start, take advantage of the head start before it's too late. If your cell phone go down and you can't use your cell phone, do you have a way to communicate with your kids? Do you have a way to communicate with your family? Do you? When's the last time you used a walkie-talkie? When? You see what I'm saying? Do you have a backup generator just in case the power goes down? Do you have a backup generator? Do you have something you can? If the answer is no, God is telling you, you are unprepared. And if tragedy strikes today, you're going to be one of the ones fighting over rice in a grocery store. And you're going to be one of the ones trying to rob other people for what they got because you did not prepare. You did not prepare. So God is saying you only get the benefit if you follow the instruction. You follow the instruction, you get the benefit of what comes with following the instruction. You get his protection, you get his provision, you get peace, you get all of those things if you follow the instruction. But don't come crying to God. Don't come crying to God when it's too late. Like Joseph brothers. Now they hungry. Now they heard it's food that way. Now they got to get in their little wagon. Now they got to travel to where the food is. And y'all want to know what? One thing about Joseph, he stood 10 toes down. He didn't care about women and children having a sob story. What about me and my kids? I need to feed my children. God said, and Joseph said, yeah. And I'm pretty sure God gave you and you the same instruction for you to prepare for you and your kids the same way he gave it to me and mine. So, ma'am, you either going to trade something to get this food or you going to get about your business. And it's going to come a time where, not being mean, but ma'am, I don't have nothing for you or your kids. You can keep your side story because God gave me the head start. I followed the head start and I prepared for me and mine. And so Joseph brothers, they had to travel to come all the way to where he was just to find some food. And I'm pretty sure they heard whispers in the land. The same way we hearing it now. Hey, the crops ain't growing right. Hey, we ain't got that much. Hey, we don't have this. Hey, we don't have that. I'm pretty sure they heard the whispers. I'm pretty sure God had, like the Bible says, out of the mouths of 2 or 3 witnesses, his word will be established. I'm pretty sure God gave a dream to Pharaoh. And I'm pretty sure God gave, the dream to other people in the land. I'm pretty sure he told other prophets in the land because that's what God does. That's what he does. He give everybody the same instruction. Hey, the same thing apply for him, apply for you. Save some food. Stuff ain't going right. So I'm pretty sure Joseph them brothers heard the same whispers we hearing now. Oh, the crop's not going right. The farmers are complaining. What are we going to do? And they probably ignored it. Ain't nothing going to happen. Man, ain't nothing going to happen. Ain't nothing going to happen until it happened. And when it happened, they realized, oh, snaps, we got wife and kids. We got an elderly father. We ain't got no food. What we going to do? Yeah, because you thought them whispers were just nothing. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Okay. Until it does. And when it came, Joseph was overly prepared. Overly prepared. His heart did not go out. The people coming to him, they had to give something for him to give them rice. He wasn't just giving out free rice. He wasn't giving out free beans. He wasn't giving out his stuff. He wasn't. He said, sorry, we all got the same warning. Sorry, we got the same warning. Sorry, we got the same warning. I'm sorry you and your kids hungry, ma'am, but we got the same warning. So I can't fall into no sob story because we got the same warning. God gave us the same instructions. Start prepping food. Start preparing food. We got the same instructions, same amount of time. And if you do not prepare, you are going to find yourself on the outs like Joseph brothers, looking for some food that ain't there. And it's by the grace of God that God put it on Joseph's heart to be generous and kind to his brothers. Or else they would have got the same treatment. Sorry. Y'all hungry? Sorry. 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 Just saying. Anyway, I hope y'all listening. I hope this helps. But as for me and my house, we are going to serve the Lord and prep. I'm going to follow the instruction God is giving because I want the benefits that come with the instruction. I'm just saying. So if God is giving me a 7-year head start, guess what? I'm going to take full advantage of that 7-year head start. I'm going to do all I can to prep as best as I can. And like I said, I'd rather be overly prepared and nothing happens than to be not prepared and something happens. We ain't see COVID happening, were we? It had been whispers of COVID happening, but that ain't nothing. It had been whispers about COVID. It has slowly started to make its way online. Hey, you heard about COVID? Hey, you heard about COVID-19? But we were so busy, you know what I'm saying, like having a good time that we didn't pay no mind because we thought that ain't nothing, that ain't nothing, that ain't nothing. And so that nothing became something. And it caught us all off guard. And we're in a grocery store fighting over food and tissue and beans and rice and canned goods and Pampers, wiping the shelves out because we were not prepared because we thought the whispers of COVID was nothing. So now there's whispers now that, hey, you may want to put you some extra food up. And you need to take heed to the whispers that's being said. This is God's grace and mercy telling us, hey, you didn't listen when I warned y'all about COVID. But I'm telling you, this time it's going to be much worse. And it's nothing worse than knowing you got kids and you did not prepare food, extra food for you and them kids. And if you ain't learned when the government shut down and they wasn't finna give y'all food stamps, if you ain't learned then that that nobody's coming to save you, if you ain't learned by that government shutdown when they was withholding them food stamps, if you ain't learned by then nobody's coming to save you, baby, I'm sorry to say, I pity the fool. I pity the fool. You will be a fool to trust this administration, this government, and the way the world is going now. When they withheld y'all food stamps, and they did not care about you and your kids starving. They didn't care. They didn't care about the elders, the kids, the disabled, the handicapped, people who needed them food stamps. They didn't care. All they cared about is themselves, and they were trying to push their agenda. And we, the people, were just collateral damage in that. So if that has not taught you that you better look out for yourself, every man for himself, God for us all, then you are a bigger fool than what I thought. I pity the fool. Y'all start prepping y'all some food. Start saving y'all some food. You go to the store, just buy a little something extra, put it to the side. Okay? Take a little $50 out of your check. Every time you get paid, go to the store, buy you a 5-gallon thing of water, buy you a bag of beans, buy you a bag of rice. Try to get the 10-pound bag of rice. Try to get different kind of beans, mixed beans, pinto beans, black beans, kidney beans. Try to get different kind of beans. Okay? If you see seasonings on sale, buy them. Just get them. Just get them and store them. Okay? You see sugar on sale, get it. You see salt on sale, get it. Or even if it's not on sale, get it. You see honey, get it. And just start putting it up, putting it to the side. Eventually, it's going to start to add up, and you're going to have you a nice stock pile. And when you have your stuff, like when Joseph had all that food and stuff, let me tell you something. God wasn't going to let nobody come in and take what Joseph put to the side. If anybody would have tried to take Joseph's stockpile, they would have had to deal with God himself. That's the protection you get when you follow the instruction. So when you start saving food in your house, guess what? God is going to make sure you in your house is straight. Ain't nobody going to dare try and take something from your house because you have the protection from God because you followed the instruction. Follow the instruction. Listen, I love y'all. Hope y'all are listening. Hope this helped. Every man for himself. God for us all. Good luck and God bless. Start praying in Jesus' name. If you ain't got saved, get saved. And yeah, go to the store and buy y'all some rice. And I will see y'all next time. I hope this helps. I will be back again to say the same thing I just said now. Because, you know, God just uses people to sound the alarm over and over and over and over again. Okay? So I will be back probably tomorrow to say the same thing. Until next time.